Greetings, my brothers and sisters. How you doing out there? Welcome to another edition of the Chrissy B Multip Stream Broadcast Show. We're here to talk briefly about the late great Delroy Wilson. You know, yesterday would have been his 75th birthday. He was born on the 5th of October 1948. He became Jamaica's first child star in the 1960s. He signed a contract as early as 1961 at the age of 12 for Coxsone Dodd, more or less the year when he set up the Studio One Enterprise, so the actual Studio One building at number 13 Brentford Road. And more or less Delroy Wilson became the first child star in Jamaica. And after Delroy Wilson came Harold Dunkley a few years later, and then came Dennis Brown at the end of the 60s, start of the 70s, or it's tail end of the 60s really. Then into the 70s we had some more, like Hugh Mundell was another one. Then we had Junior Tucker, Hugh Mundell, Junior Tucker, Barrington Levy, and a number of others. But those are the prominent ones. And so Delroy Wilson was the one who really kicked it all off with youth singing, and scored a lot of hits in the early days. I'll Shut Up, Be Removed, and so many. Joe Lags, Spit in the Sky, Fall in Your Eye. Here was a young boy on some of the toughest ska rhythms and ska melodies of the day, and people were saying, who is this kid? Who is this guy? Who is this kid? But this kid was Delroy Wilson, and he went on to score so many hits and made so many tunes. And the thing about Delroy Wilson, he evolved with the music because it was prominent in the ska period of the early 60s. Then when ska morphed into rocksteady in the mid 60s, he was still there, churning out hits like Run Run and I Want Justice and songs like that. And then when rocksteady went out, and then reggae came in at the tail end of the 60s, he was still there with some classic songs like I Can't Stand It and so many hits like that. You know, Delroy Wilson was born in Kingston, and according to the late great Alton Ellis, he said that he was called one day to the Delroy Wilson School in Kingston because this young boy was blowing the house down, was tearing the house down with his singing talent. And Alton Ellis at that time was prominent in the music scene in Jamaica. At that time, Alton Ellis was really singing with his singing partner called Eddie Perkins, hence Alton and Eddie. They had a big hit with Muriel in 1959, and then unfortunately Eddie Perkins went to America, and Alton was now a solo singer, and now he come away from the business for a number of years and so on. But a lot of people, he was like the port of call when people were singing. When there was a young person who wanted to make it as a singer in Jamaica in those days, when somebody wanted approval, then Alton was normally one of the go-to guys. So too was Derek Morgan as well, and one or two others. So when Alton Ellis was called to the school of Delroy Wilson for Delroy to sing in front of the great Alton Ellis, and then he was given his stamp of approval when Alton said, "Oh, he sounds good." And then very soon after, he found his way to Coxsone Dodd, and then Coxsone Dodd, you know, he likes the talent, signed him up as a young 12-year-old in 1961. He wasn't yet 13, and so Coxsone signed him up more or less on a 5-year contract. He stayed a bit longer than 5 years, because 5 years, 1966, he was still there until about 69. And then he went to Sonia Pottinger, done some songs, went to, of course, Bunny Lee as well, done some songs there. But he found his way back to Coxsone Dodd at number 13 Brentford Road. Of course, Jamaica's premier recording studio, Jamaica's answer to Tamla Motown in America. And he done some more songs like I Love You Madly and so on. And of course, the song I Love You Madly was done by Dennis Brown a number of times. And you can hear Dennis Brown speaking in the background to Delroy's version. So Delroy was really the idol of a young Dennis Brown, you know. And so they have, in the 1970s, Delroy Wilson put out a lot of songs for Bunny Lee. He actually went to Bunny Lee about 3 or 4 different times because you could tell where the music was changing. In the early 70s, you had the style called Jonko Skank sounds with the afterbeat coming out of early reggae, you know. And then in the mid 70s, you had the flying cymbal sound, which was really coined as such by the great Bunny Lee. And Delroy Wilson was recorded in this type for Bunny Lee as well. And then towards the end of the 70s, you had the militant stepper sound. And Daryl Wilson recorded in this style for Bunny Lee also, but not just for Bunny Lee in those three styles, but throughout the whole 70s, he recorded for a multitude of producers. You know, he sadly passed away in March of 1995. He was only 46 years of age when he passed away. 46 years of age. That is absolutely amazing. 46 years of age. I'm going to be 46 in December. I can't believe it. He passed away when I was 17. I can't believe it. Yeah. Because I remember when he passed away, because I've got a cousin who lived, I don't know if she's still, because I've not seen her for many years now. And she lived in Wembley. And I remember we had a house party in the 80s. And then we had a couple of Daryl Wilson albums. My dad had them lying around. And then she would see the Daryl Wilson album. And she said, oh, I know him. He's my friend. So we've got a cousin who was a friend of his. And this was back in the 80s. And I remember sometime afterwards, not long after, I think the same cousin said to me, oh, he died. But I didn't realize it was 1995. I thought he died before 1995. Because I'm sure when I met this cousin, when this cousin of ours came to the house and saw the Daryl Wilson albums and said, oh, he's our friend. He's our friend. And then she came afterwards back to the house and said, oh, he's passed away. I assumed that he passed away in the 80s. I never realized he passed away in the 90s. But anyway, he passed away in 1995. And some say he passed away with long alcoholic abuse. He was drinking a lot, a bit the same like Jackie Me Too, which we're going to talk about very soon as well. He was a heavy drinker, Daryl Wilson. He had a canny taste for the right rum, because right rum in Jamaica is a big drink and it's very, very strong and it could punch your kidneys if you drink too much of it. And he loved white rum, Daryl Wilson. He drank too much of it to the point where it more or less killed him. So some will say that he died of alcohol poisoning, kidney problems, of course, because of course drinking too much alcohol damages the kidneys and damages the liver. And there you have it. 46 years of age. I still can't believe he passed away at such a young age. And he came into the scene as a 12-year-old, singing all them songs, and then throughout the whole 60s and his teen years and early 20s, and he never stopped singing until the day he passed away. Yeah, I believe you can find a Daryl Wilson song for every year between the age of 12 and 46, and that's what, 34. That's literally 34 years of nothing but singing. 34 years of singing, you see, and not one dull moment, because every one of his songs, even if some of them weren't hits, let's say, they all live long in the memory, and they're all lovely melodic songs. Come, of course, possessing one of the best voices of all time in the music, and one of my personal favorite singers of all time. And so, you know, I know he has a son. I'm not sure if he has any more. I know he has one son who's also a musician, whose name I can't quite catch right now. It eludes me right now. I'm not sure if he has any daughters or has a daughter and so on, but I know he has one son who's also in the music business. A lot of people still alive today who remembers him fondly and loved him and was working with him in the years gone by as backing musicians and as singers and so on. And so it's such a sad shame to see a talent like that, like Jackie Me Too as well, and Slim Smith just gone down the drain like that. And we've lost so many of our reggae icons to things like this, and through carelessness and just a lack of discipline. And it's so what's the word I'm trying to look for? It's so upsetting at the same time. It's so upsetting. And it's like a massive void within the industry. So many of our icons have passed away. And when you look at how they passed away and what they passed away from and with, it's just waste, an absolute waste. You know, a lot of it isn't even health related. It's because of just being careless and wretchedness, and their lives have gone down the drain, and those things make me very angry. But Daryl Wilson memory lives on. I hear his records played every day, more or less, on the radio stations. I play these songs, and I'll continue to play songs whenever I play out or whenever I'm back on the radio. Even here at home, sometimes I go and I record some songs and put it up on the internet for people to enjoy. Like I do shows and so on. And I'm writing a book about reggae music, and Daryl Wilson is going to feature in that book. So I'm hoping to do him justice when I write this book, and he's included in it. I'm just hoping I can do him some justice. Anyway, brothers and sisters, keep subscribing to this channel, keep liking our videos, there's a lot more content to come. You know, this is October, so this is what we call African. I don't call it Black History Month anymore, or even African History Month. I call it African Knowledge Month or African Holocaust Month. You know, so keep, you know, your eyes and your ears this way. There's lots more content to come throughout the whole of October. Every day is African Holocaust Month and African Knowledge Month. Every day. Or we should say African Holocaust Day and African, you know, African Holocaust Day, African Holocaust Day, and African Knowledge Day. It's every single day of the year. 365 years in days in a year. And sometimes in a leap year, well, in a leap year every 4 years is 366. So we're here every day as we can. Every day we should be celebrating African history, because it's not just confined to 1 month in the year. But yes, of course, we embrace it because that was allocated to us in the years gone by when things were hard for Black people. So any little thing we got, we fought for. We just held on to it. We just kept it. Anyway, take care of yourselves. As I said, keep subscribing to Crispy Emotep. You know, keep liking the videos, because you know YouTube loves the algorithms when you keep liking. Share the videos if you can. Leave your comments down below. And I'll say adios. Take care. Bye for now.